do the same crazy shit sometimes too. La 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 la.
That's how I'm gonna walk in the ring next time. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Yes, you saw that Santeria first hand. You know what I'm talking about. All jokes aside, ladies and gentlemen, that's how you get into your zone. That's how you get, your absolute, your inner, your soul. It needs to be immaculate. It needs to be perfection when you have a show of colossal proportions as it is today, ladies and gentlemen. Before we even get into our guest, you know what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. You know who it is. It's Gamero, the Pharaoh, the poor man's Robert De Niro. And we are oh so very happy to, join you or have you join us on this beautiful Saturday, actually, at Midnight in Miami Studios. And we have another guest, another story, another champion. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into our guest behind the scenes, there's a wizard with the clippers. You know what I'm talking about? There's a wizard. There's a man that, let's say you have a date night. This man's gonna get you right. You know what I'm talking about? Let's say you need a fresh cut in order to impress your old lady. Who do you go to? You go to Diego, Miami Barber. What's going on?
Need a fresh cut to get some butt.
Hey, bro, there you go.
That's going to be on my next shirt.
Bro, that's beautiful. Hey, he's going to take royalties, bro. I'll tell you that, man. But ladies and gentlemen, I am also very happy to introduce our next guest. You know what I'm talking about? Several, martial arts can be combined in order to create MMA, and multiple people do MMA. But the man who I am about to introduce, whom I have the honor to introduce, has taken it one step further and is actually arguably the face of the Bare Knuckle Championship. If I'm not mistaken. Ladies and gentlemen, the next man to my left-hand side had a arguably, it's argued 2 to 3 second knockout. Some people will say 2, some people will say 3, but we won't hate on either one. You know what I'm talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, to my left-hand side, for the first time in Midnight in Miami Studios, we have Uly the Monster in the studio! What's going on?
What's good, my brother? Thank you so much for this opportunity, brother.
No, brother, thank you for coming on by. How are you? I know you had a busy day. You had Yoel Romero's gym opening today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? How'd that go?
Yes, sir, man. It's been a hectic day, but it's great. I like a little hectic in my life.
Gotta stay busy, huh?
I love to stay busy. So yeah, my brother, man, Yoel Romero, opened up his gym today. Had the grand opening of his gym, his American Top Team down in South Miami or down in Eureka off the Turnpike. It was amazing. It was amazing, man. A great turnout. He had Mas Vidal there. He had Valerie Lareda and a couple of other big name fighters. Had hundreds of people out there, and it was amazing. A blessing for him, man. That's great.
Big shout out to Romero.
Yes, sir.
So Uly, why don't you talk to us? I guess some would say that you recently had a blooming of sorts in your career. It's been a tremendous career that you've had so far and a tremendous career that you've yet to have. What has led you to this point? Did you ever feel or did you ever doubt that you would get to this point where you're at today?
I never doubted myself. Nobody saw what happened coming. You know what I mean? It was my defining moment in sports as of right now. And I think forever it's going to be a mark in history. I'm going down in the Guinness Book of World Records, fastest knockout in combat sports history.
And you can see it on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. You see it right now in front of you. Hopefully we don't get demonetized by, Bare Knuckle. Big shout out to Bare Knuckle. But you see it on the screen. Phenomenal knockout. I've seen it, replayed easily over 100 times. So I am, forgive me if I'm fangirling here. But what was going on through your mind? I guess when you go into a competition as intense or as raw as Bare Knuckle is, what goes on through your mind? Beforehand.
Yeah, in preparation for all fights, I study all my opponents. So I studied this one. I came in with that same game plan. I had, and it's on tape. I had a dream. A week before the fight, I called my manager and told him, "Look, I'm gonna have the fastest knockout." I was studying tape on this guy. I knew what I was gonna do. I knew I was gonna throw that left jab, miss. He was gonna try to stretch his arms out. I was gonna come with that overhand right that landed and knocked him out. Going into any fight, you know, everybody has their little set of nerves. You know what I mean? And getting past those nerves is the conquering moment, the good feeling. My nerves come more when it comes to like the weigh-in. Once I'm at the weigh-in and I make my weight, I have this sense of calmness over me. And Bare Knuckle, I love Bare Knuckle, man. Bare Knuckle takes me back to the roots. I've been fighting since I was a kid on the streets. Fighting got me in trouble in school, got me kicked out of school, got me sent to prison as an adult, as a young adult. And now it gets me paid. It gets me, you know what I mean? It gets me notoriety. It got me in the Guinness Book of World Records, which is amazing. You know, I've turned it around.
And if that's not, you know, a 180, then I don't know what is, you know. What made you decide bare knuckle instead of, boxing or MMA? You do have a, very hardcore boxing background. Tell us a little bit about that. But, what made you go have the transition from boxing into bare knuckle?
I love fighting, period. I started off boxing. I'm 12-1 as a boxer. I hold the National Boxing Association cruiserweight title. I have 11 knockouts there. I tried MMA. I did, I'm 1-0 in MMA with 1 knockout. My hat's off to all the MMA guys. MMA is tough in the sense that it's just tough by itself. And on top of, like, it takes all day out of you from, wrestling to kickboxing to boxing. It takes a lot. And bare knuckle, they gave me the opportunity. The opportunity arose maybe a little bit over a year ago. We were in talks. Nothing was done. And then at the beginning of this year, February was my first fight for them. We sealed the deal, and I became part of the circuit. And now, after this 3-second knockout, I'm, and there's not to brag or boast or pat myself on the back, but I'm trying to become the face of them. In my opinion, I am the biggest face for bare knuckle boxing that has fought. Right now, the biggest face would probably be Paige Van Zandt, but she hasn't fought yet. Okay. Me fighting for them twice, I think I'm probably the biggest name for them right now.
That is a damn fact. Why don't you tell us about the upcoming fight that you actually are preparing for?
Yeah, I have a fight February 5th, which is Super Bowl weekend, and it's in Tampa where the Super Bowl's at, so it's going to be huge. Yeah, Paige Van Zandt is the main event on that, so it's potentially going to be the biggest pay-per-view seller for them as of yet. So it's going to be huge. Yes, sir.
Please be on the lookout, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely. Please be on the lookout because this man does nothing but put on performances.
Be on the lookout and don't blink, guys.
Don't blink, man, because you missed 2 seconds and it's out. It's out. What first went through your mind when, they ring the bell and it's done so quickly?
You know what? It was unbelievable to me still for days after. You know what I mean? It was amazing. I got, after my fight, a couple days later, I was in Dominican Republic commentating for UFC Fight Pass. And
Lex was fighting, right?
Yes, Lex was fighting, and Titan had a fight too, which I commentated for the Titan fight. It was an amazing feeling, brother. It was unbelievable, man. I came into the game at an older age where guys are kind of retiring. I came into the game. You always, and this is anything you do, anything in life, people always like, how am I going to leave my mark? How are people, that was my thing. How am I going to leave my mark? How am I going to let people remember me, And I did it with that one punch. Those 3 seconds changed my life, It gave me the notoriety that comes with it. It reached every corner of the world. I had TMZ, People Magazine. I had people I haven't talked to for years, family members reaching out to me.
Estabas perdido, but now you...
Exactly, and it was an amazing feeling, man. Amazing.
Man, I congratulate you. What an athletic achievement. Truly amazing to watch.
Thank you so much, brother.
What is going on through your brain, or I guess what would you call the more challenging aspect of making weight? There's a lot of people that say that's the unspoken first round. Just because of how difficult it is for them to make weight. Do you see yourself finding it difficult as well, or is it almost a walk in the park for you?
No, it's not a walk in the park, but it's all about timing. The earlier you start to try to get onto weight, the easier it is at the end. I've gotten some injuries where I got this torn bicep here from cutting too much weight too fast, not hydrating enough for the fight the next day, and busting my muscle. So lesson learned, obviously. You know, you live and you learn. But that to me is not. It's not that it's challenging. It's that takes, you know, it takes a lot of discipline. You got to eat right. You got to stay on point. There's no going out. There's getting sleep. You know, and it's a learning process. I used to do interviews all the way up to like fight week. You know, I started cutting that off a month before. A month before my fight, I'm you know, hard to get a hold of. You know, I'll set everything up for after, but I stay focused, and that's a big thing for me is just focusing on that fight. I don't look past anybody, no opponent. I don't look past anybody in front of me. Anybody that steps in the cage, in the ring, or the square circle, which they call the bare knuckle cage. You know, everybody's dangerous. You know what I mean? And any one punch could determine a fight.
So how do you find that fine balance between not overestimating your opponent and not underestimating your opponent?
Well, I'm a gentleman in the sport. I don't talk trash about nobody. And if they start talking trash about me, I'm just as good at talking about it.
I'll match you, bro.
Right. But I don't get into like little Instagram wars or this and that and the other. Because at the end of the day, you could call me whatever you want. You could call me any type of name. You could diss me. You could say whatever the hell you want to say. But let me know when I start bleeding, right? So anything you say don't matter nothing until we step in that ring and, you know, we knuckle up. You know what I mean? So that's how I speak to people.
What is the for bare knuckle as far as technicalities go? All that they're really wrapping up is your wrist, right?
Right. They wrap your wrist, and it's basically like a glove with no fingers on it except your thumb. So it holds your thumb and your wrist. Your knuckles are exposed 2 inches behind your knuckles. So all this is wrapped up to here, but everything else is exposed just like it is here. And yeah, man, it's, you know, and they actually say that bare knuckle is actually safer for you in the sense that you get hit with a bare knuckle, you're going to get cut. You get hit with a good shot, you're going to get knocked out. When I got gloves on, I could beat you 20 times and you might not get knocked out, but you're getting, you know, constant force to the head. Also,
UFC gloves, they force you to eye poke it. I don't know if you noticed the way that they're set up. It's like, let me bend my fingers so if I hit wrong, I'm gonna eye poke you.
Right.
And speaking of eye poking, what are some things that are not allowed whatsoever in bare knuckle?
Well, bare knuckle is boxing rules. You're allowed dirty boxing, which means that you could clinch somebody in the back of the neck. As long as you have one arm free, you could clinch them in the back of the neck and hit. And that's basically the only different rules. It's boxing with a little bit of dirty boxing involved. You know, if you got both arms wrapped up and you're not using them, then they'll break you up.
What's been your experience with the referees?
The referees have been great, man. My first one was Dan Mergliotta, which is a UFC veteran, Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? It was amazing to have him in the ring with me, which is great. I won my first fight in bare knuckle by knockout in a minute and a half. And then my second referee, by the time he said knuckle up and he was stepping back, he had to run forward and go grab this guy. You know what I mean? So, and I actually saw him the other day at I went to some fights. Shout out to Henry Rivalto for Rivalto Boxing. I went to his fights in the Intercontinental black tie event. It was amazing. But my referee was there, and I walked up to him. I go, hey, man, we're in the record books, bro. He's like, bro, it was amazing. And I've watched my fight 1,000 times probably.
Gotcha.
But I never noticed him until the other day. And it's funny how he says knuckle up. He takes 2 steps back and it's like a little cartoon. You can see smoke come out of his shoe trying to run down and stop the fight. But it's amazing, man. You know.
Oh my God.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Did you know he was out as soon as you hit that right overhand? Did you were like, he's done for?
As soon as I hit him, I was looking straight at him going down. I saw his eyes roll back to the back of his head. And if you look, I almost grab him on the way down. I almost grab him.
Yeah.
He falls, and then I immediately turn around, and I was this crazy rush of adrenaline where I jumped over the cage. And the reason I fall for everybody watching here, because I went from Sports Center's top 10 to not so top 10 in one jump. You know what I mean? There was a guy coming up at me, so I didn't want to hit him. So I went to step on the rail, and the rail, I just flipped over and landed on my face. But but it was amazing. I made 2 amazing moments in one go. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. The adrenaline that must be running through your body at a moment like that, it must be something,
it's crazy,
out of this world. Do you mind or do you prefer if family members go there to support you, or do you want to phase that out?
No, I love the support. You know what I mean? Miami's behind me 100%, 1,000% since I started.
Baby.
305 in the building and in the city and everything. I love it. But it's by trial and error. You live and you learn. As I'm backstage, I don't want nobody backstage with me. Like, early, fine. If there's hours before I fight, cool. Once it gets closer to the fight, I don't want nobody around me. Don't talk to nobody. As I walk into the fight, everybody's trying to give me fives, and you know, and like, oh, and I just zero into like what I got going on. I get in there. As I'm in the ring, and I do this walk back and forth like I'm stalking my prey. I don't look out into the crowd. You know what I mean? I used to do that, and you see people, you know, they're trying to give you and it takes you out of the moment. You know what I mean? So I've stopped all that completely, and it helps me. It helps me. And then once, you know, whatever the moment's over, then I look at everybody, and you know, I want a hug, I want a kiss, I want whatever, brother. Let's do it. Pictures, everybody. I'm cool with it. But yeah, before the fight, as I'm walking up, I don't want to. I'm big on energy too, brother. So I don't want to give nobody five and pick up the wrong. My bad.
Open up a little bit.
Yeah. I don't want to. You know, I don't. That's why when I'm walking up, I don't want to give nobody fives or touch nobody and pick up the wrong energy. You know what I mean? I'm big on that. As weird as it may sound, you know what I mean?
No. I mean, it doesn't sound weird at all. What's the energy like in the dressing room beforehand?
The dressing room beforehand is, listen, I have my coach, Commander Zero, shout out to him, Orlando Cuellar, just made the Hall of Fame this year. Wow. And I found out less than 2 weeks ago, I'm in the Hall of Fame for bare knuckle boxing as well for the knockout. So
give it up for this man right here.
So me and my coach made it to the Hall of Fame the same year, which is amazing. My coach has 26 world champions behind him, about to have another one, number 27 right here. And that guy is just a pro in everything he does. When he speaks to me, and you guys could go on my Instagram, one of my posts, you'll see what he gives me is just fuel, you know? And by the time I'm walking up to that cage, I feel like an animal, brother. You know what I mean? I'm ready to like unleash, you know what I mean? And you guys saw it in that punch, you know? I was ready to kill somebody, you know what I mean?
Have you had any words with him afterwards?
Oh, yeah, man. My coach is like a father figure to me. You know?
Excuse me, the person that you fought.
Oh, I saw him after the fight. We spoke. You know, I have no harsh feelings towards this. This is a business. He was trying to do the same to me. You know what I mean? And we trained for these moments, brother. You know, exactly. and like I like to tell everybody, like, yes, the fight lasted 3 seconds, but there was a lot of hard work put behind those 3 seconds. You know what I mean? It wasn't just I came in there and did that out of nowhere. There was a lot of hard work put behind that, a lot of sacrifice put behind that. Yes, I talked to my opponent after the fight. We hugged it out. I saw him at the after party. You know, I bought him a drink. And again, there's no hard feelings, brother. This is what we came to do. You know what I mean?
That's respect, man, right there.
Yes, sir,
but, you know, bought him a drink. That's what a man does right there. Yeah. That's Uly, what would be something, you know, you briefly spoke to us a little bit about your background and how you started, you know, basically fighting in a not so organized fashion.
Absolutely.
What would be something that you, if you could, tell, you know, someone...
The youth?
You know, if you could tell yourself from 20 years ago, what would be something that you would tell yourself from 20 years ago?
Well, look, I speak to a lot of young kids now, and I go to like the juvenile detention center where I found myself at a long time ago. And the thing I tell myself now, or I would tell my younger self now, is, yo, what you think is cool now, what you're doing now, with, you know, hanging out with gangs and just basically eating shit, you know what I mean, for lack of better words, it's not gonna be cool in the long run, and it's hard to see that. It's hard to see that when you're young and you're trying to follow a trend or a mode and you get caught up. I didn't have a father figure. I never had an uncle, a dad. I never had anybody tell me, yo, kid, follow this, you know what I mean? Or you go the right way. I never had that. So I had to figure out everything on my own. My friends were kind of like my guide, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it got me into a lot of trouble. Not knowing what to do. Luckily, I was able to turn all that back around. But if I was able to tell my younger self something, it would be that. Like, yo, what you think is cool now is not, brother. Like, you know, going to school is cool. Staying on something, being consistent, working hard, you know, it will get you successful, you know, following the right people. And that's pretty much what I would tell myself. Yeah, you know, stay on that track, brother. Stay on the track, you know.
Stay on the track. Stay on the track. How often or how long have you been doing this? You going to visit other, or I guess like prisons or youth centers? How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing that now. Before COVID, it was a little more, you know, easier. Since COVID, I haven't done it since COVID, but I've been doing it. It's probably going about 1.5 years now. What I do now too, I don't know when this is gonna air, but if anybody wants to join us on Tuesday, December 22nd, I feed the homeless. It's called Fighting versus Hunger.
That's dope.
Yeah. We started that. We've been doing that since before COVID. all through COVID. We've been feeding the homeless all through Miami. We got local restaurants helping us. On this one, we got the Miami Dolphins giving us 300 meals. I have Ray's Pizza. Shout out to Ray's Pizza, giving us 200 pizzas, 400 garlic knots. They're giving us Pepsi, water. And, brother, I've had all types of people come out. Fighters, musicians. It's been an amazing movement, brother.
Wow. Where'd you get those modales, for lack of a better word, to be able to, like, have the vision to be able to give back to the city that you love like that?
Because, I'm a street kid. I don't come from the street like where I was homeless or anything like that. But I always hung out on the streets. I always saw the necessity. And really, it's something in me to pay it forward, man. I feel like I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. And I'm blessed to be here today. Blessed to have these opportunities. And one of my ways that I feel to pay it back is doing this, man. Using my name, my notoriety to help a restaurant, and the Dolphins giving me food, and going to help out these people that have no help, have nobody. And I found my way of doing it was to feed the homeless.
I love how that defeats so many fucking stereotypes when it comes to fighting or fighters in general. There's just so many layers that comes to somebody that is putting forth everything that they have to accomplish their dreams and to, better their family. So Absolutely. I respect you fully.
Thank you
for
so
that.
much. Thank you.
Talk to us a little bit about the epiphany that you had in Colorado a while back that caused you to move, to move to Miami, if I'm not mistaken.
So, yeah, that was my defining moment in life where got me to where I'm at today. It was a big change in my life. I was living in Colorado as part of the gold rush, And brother, for the first time, I've always been a street guy. I've always done things I wasn't supposed to be doing, being around people I wasn't supposed to be around. And it's been my whole life, man. And then living in Colorado one day, I just found myself, kind of in a depressed stage. And I had this, what I like to say, epiphany come to God moment, where I was like, I was 35 at the time. I did math for the first time in my life. I've always been a minute-to-minute guy. Never thought about, I'm going to do this in 5 years. No, I live day to day, minute to minute. And I said, man, in 10 years, I'll be 45. And 45, am I still going to be stuck in this spot trying to figure out how to make the next buck? Or I go, bro, and it brought me to my knees, bro. You know what I mean? And I had already been training. I was already in pretty decent shape. That moment, I packed my stuff up. I called the transport company, come get my car. Whatever didn't fit in my car stayed in where I lived, and I got out of there, bro. I hauled ass, came to Miami, got into a boxing gym, which I knew the guys for years, a Fifth Street gym at the beach. And I just started boxing, trying to stay in shape, trying to figure it out. My dream was always to fight, you know what I mean? But I don't want to say I never had the time, because that's bull. I never made the time, you know what I mean? I thought I was too busy. So finally, I made the time to start training, and then I had this. It started off as a bucket list thing. All right, I'm gonna do a fight. I can take some pictures for my kids, and, Instagram. And so I told my coach. They came back with a date, and that date was January 27 of 2017. That was my first professional fight in Dominican Republic. I went over there. I fought. I won by first round knockout, and it was the biggest high I've ever had in my life. And that was like this moment where I was like, this is my calling. This is what I got to do. First time I found out what hard work was, I put my nose down, started working and training every single day. And I figured out this little equation I like to tell people is, consistency over time equals success. Now, I'm far from being successful, but I'm putting in the work to get myself there. And I feel it, and things like this knockout and my wins and everything it shows me that I'm going the right way.
Oh, most definitely. Why don't you give us a rundown of the first fight? How was it for you from your point of view?
Man, it was amazing. It was in Dominican Republic. I had probably 10 great friends on my fly out with me.
Damn.
It was very nerve-wracking. I didn't know what I was doing, brother. You know what I mean? I first of all, I wasn't fighting as good as I am now. Not that I'm the best, but I was definitely not in. You know what I mean? I had a lot to learn back then. Once you want to do it real bad. Now you put yourself in that situation where you have to do it. You know what I mean? And
backing out.
Right. And this is what you wanted. You know what I mean?
Right.
And this is what I wanted. So, Man, it was crazy. It was great. It was this feeling that I wish you could put it in a bottle and sell it. You know what I mean? And thank God, man, I came out with the win, bro. You know, and like I said, it was just again, it was a high that I'm still riding, bro. 4 years in now, and 4 years in since I come to Gamero. About to be 4 years professional on January 27th. I'm going. February will be my 17th pro fight. I'm 12-1 with 11 knockouts in boxing, 1-0 with 1 knockout in MMA, and 2-0 and with 2 knockouts. And bro, and it's amazing.
That's
brother.
a knockout king right there.
Listen, thank God, brother.
Yo.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
So I gotta ask, when you go into a fight, are you already going for the knockout? Like, there's no.
And honestly, like, I'm not going for the knockout. You know what I mean? I know I have the power behind me to knock people out. You know, I've been doing it my whole life before I went pro. So, you know,
I've been doing it for free too.
Right, exactly. Now I'm getting paid, and I honed in on my powers. Where now I know what I'm doing. We're doing it strategically. We're doing it right. But I'm an aggressive fighter. I'm not a guy who stays on the outside. I like to fight on the inside, and I know once I touch you with one of these, it's over with. You know what I mean?
Bro, you don't gotta tell me my cardio's way out. What were some of the inspirations for you growing up as a fighter? You know, boxers, or I mean, it doesn't really. If it's boxers or MMA fighters, whatever it may be. But people that you looked up to, that you saw their skills and you're like, wow.
You know what? Mike Tyson for sure. Obviously, especially being a kid who grew up, doing street things. You know, you look at that his nothing to something story. It's amazing. I love Evander Holyfield, and he was actually at one of my fights. Gave me a shout out.
Oh,
amazing.
wow!
Yeah, these amazing things were happening, man. And when I got into the legit fight world, which is awesome, what I really loved is just like, even as a kid, but I didn't notice it till after. Now when I'm in this thing, I just like people who work hard, like George St. Pierre, people who are just hard workers. They're quiet. They're not talkers. They show. Their talking is in the ring while they're beating people up,
Right.
And I just always loved that. Something I lacked as a kid was structure, and something I love now that I have in my life is the structure, And I got my children, and I got them on the structure. I got 4 kids really. I got a 23-year-old son that went to college for wrestling, wrestled since he was a kid. My daughter's 19, doing great also. And I got a 7-year-old son and an 8-year-old nephew that I have custody of, I take care of. And I got them in boxing and wrestling. And it's great to see the structure behind them. We're on time places. They're following their dreams. And it's awesome to see that I'm like a hero in their life right now, what's going on.
Most definitely.
And it's a great feeling, brother. It's amazing.
Do you think that boxing is good for do you think it instills lessons on younger kids, positive lessons? Because there's so many people that, it can be polarizing or a polarizing subject because, on one side it develops young gentlemen, it develops men for a variety of reasons, some of which you've already mentioned. And then you got some other people that are, they're getting hit in the head, CTE, this and this and that. What are your 2 cents?
I think you said it perfect, man. It develops gentlemen, it develops men. I think, and this is my opinion. Not that I think, but this is my opinion on things that I've seen as I've grown up with people. People that know what they're doing, as in defending themselves and know how to fight, are the nicest people that I've ever come across.
Yes.
People who don't know what they're doing are usually the loudmouths and excuse my language, but assholes. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah. So, and as growing up, and I remember my friends that were black belts in karate, and these guys are like, you could never even tell they could fight, right? But you get them wrong, and you get pretzeled up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, I think that knowing what you're doing, knowing how to defend yourself, creates less bullies. And then, so like my kids, my 7 and 8-year-old kids, they wrestle, they box, they're very polite, very good, and they're defenders of their friends, you know what I mean? So they're friends that don't know what they're doing, and I have a lot of their friends, their parents, which are friends of mine now, bring their kids over, and we teach them how to defend themselves. I'm not telling you need to grow up and be a fighter, right, but just know what you're doing, and God forbid the moment comes, you know what I mean? Don't mess with me, bro.
Better safe than sorry.
Right. Absolutely.
What was your reaction to having such a large, again, reaction to your knockout? The knockout scene or heard around the world. People are posting it left and right. I don't think I've met anybody who hasn't seen it. Did you immediately know that it was going to be such a big thing? Or?
Bro, you know what? That's a great question. Great question. So it happened, right? And this is like, okay, so this happened at the Intercontinental. I had a room there, so I went upstairs. I changed, put my suit on, came downstairs, and I saw my nephew. My nephew's 16 years old. He's an amateur boxer. Shout out to Ryan Arancibia, Kid Danger. And he goes, "Hey, let's take a picture." A million people want selfies and pictures and stuff with me, so I get with him and we take a picture. He takes a selfie and he goes, "Hey, this is gonna be on SportsCenter, right?" I'm like, "Oh shit, what?" Shit. Bro, I think you're right. Sure enough, like 2 days later, it was on SportsCenter. You know what I mean? And it was on ESPN ringside. I hadn't spoken to my real father in 4 years. My real father is a writer. He writes for a big. He's written books, and he writes for a big. I guess paper. Now it's online paper. But it's all through Spain and Europe, and it goes all through South America. Wow. So he's lived in LA for the last 20 years. So somebody in Spain saw the knockout, and they're like, "Bro, I think this is Nestor's son." They email him in LA. He calls me out the blue like, "Yo!" Yeah. You know what I mean? And we developed, which is cool. We developed our relationship again. It was never like so bad. We hadn't talked in years. Never grew up with him, whatever it may be. But we're back to talking terms, which is awesome. And he's the one that showed me, I came out in People in Spanish, and People magazine in Spanish. Brother, and it's just amazing things. My girlfriend, my girlfriend wrestles for WWE. So when she posted the thing, Hulk Hogan hit me up. Phil Heath, Mr. Olympia, which I think he's about to win Mr. Olympia tonight. Tonight's the Olympia.
Okay, yeah.
Just people that I've looked up to my whole. Now I'm not gonna say looked up to, but icons. You know what I mean? That everybody's kind of looked up to at a certain point, and they're
you're getting that Tyson call soon. That's right there.
Oh man, listen, I'm hot boxing with Tyson, bro. You know what I mean? But brother, amazing things, bro. People have been reaching out, and like you said, it was a knockout heard around the world, bro.
Right. Yeah, what a moment. I think honestly, it'll be a moment that you'll never forget. You know, as will most people, because God, this is just so little time. Actually, I wanted to ask you, did you or with him at any point have some sort of agreement, as they do sometimes in MMA? I don't know if they do it in bare knuckle as well.
Touch gloves.
Yeah, you'll kind of go like that, and you're like, "Nah, I'm good."
Well, okay, so you'll see if you go back, you can watch the fight. On YouTube. It's obviously on YouTube. So we're again, I'm in my killer zone. You know what I mean? Everybody's in that mindset. I'm not trying to be your friend before we're, you know what I mean? At this moment, not at this moment.
We're not playing Monopoly right now.
Right, exactly. Yeah. This ain't patty cake. But as we're there and the referee, he asked me, he's like, "Hey, are we going to touch gloves?" And I tell him, you can, obviously you can't hear it, but you can see it on the video. He goes, are we gonna touch, we're going to dap up? I go, if we're going to do it now. So he reaches out, I jab his hand, I get back in my position, and he goes, knuckle up. Bing.
Well, I got that. And the rest is history, baby.
That's it. Exactly. Absolutely.
And the rest is history.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, every single week we have two segments, you know what I'm saying? And one of which is called the film review. And something along those lines. And we actually ask our guests every week what is some sort of... Go ahead.
The movie review of the week.
There you go. There you go.
That's that 1-800 movie guy right there.
Yeah. And so we ask our guests what is some sort of media, a movie, a TV show, whatever it is, something that, and normally I ask the fighters, something that you'll watch during your fight prep that will get you just motivated, focused, something that'll just get you in the zone. Sometimes, a movie, a TV show, something that maybe just gets you in that dog mentality.
Dog, you know what? Every day, like leading up, I listen to a lot of motivational stuff on YouTube. It's all different types of things. I love Les Brown, Eric Thomas, Tony Robbins. But what's funny is leading up to my fight, while I'm dieting and waiting for my weigh-in, and losing weight, I watch a ton of food shows, bro.
Yo, for real?
And I make lists, and I tell my chick, "Hey, we're gonna go after here. We're gonna go eat here," and
he's like the Great British Bake Off.
Yeah. But honestly, I like to watch. I like to watch. Leading up to a lot of mellow things, dog. I try to keep, nothing that's gonna. Cause my anxiety's already through the roof. You know what I mean? You're getting ready. You're anxious. You know what I mean? You like. Is it alright to cuss here?
Yeah, bro.
Okay. Well, you haven't busted a nut in a couple of weeks. I've been dieting. Yeah, I'm focused on what's my task at hand. You know what I mean? So I try to keep my anxiety low. One thing that I watched recently that, you know, I mean, as we're on the topic, if anybody watched the movie, it's called Trial by Fire. It's a true story about this dude who got put on death row. And, bro, that movie's hardcore, dog.
Bro, is it on Netflix?
No, it's not on Netflix. Where did I see it? I think it might be on Amazon Prime or something
We'll
like that.
figure it out.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
figure it
Trial by Fire, bro. Great movie.
How many stars would you give it?
Bro,
out of 5.
Out of 5 stars for sure, bro.
Hell yeah, I love that
dope
shit.
movie, bro. And I consider myself a movie buff. I love watching movies. I don't go out anymore, so my thing every night is Netflix, Hulu, or you know what I mean. I'm on that. So it's amazing movies. Definitely check out.
Trial by Fire.
Yes, sir.
Please check
True
it out.
story.
5 stars. Oh, true story.
Yeah, true story, bro. And I love it. That intrigues me even more. You know what I mean? And once you watch it, bro, you hit me up after you see it, bro.
Bro, I got you. Say no more. I wanted to ask. So, as someone who has kind of experienced, you know, the being behind bars firsthand, does it sometimes irk you or bother you when there's a movie that represents it and it's not really accurate?
Nah, man, I don't get into the Hollywood stuff. I know my story and the way I lived it, you know what I mean? And I went into prison as a young man, bro. I was 23 when I got to prison. And I went into it with this mentality about like what you see in the movies, you know what I mean? And honestly, like a lot of it is to a certain extent, you know what I mean? Not the exaggeration, but there's a lot of weird maneuvers, and prison is a whole different world, bro. It's like, you know,
they say it has its own like laws inside.
It definitely has its own laws, unwritten rules, and these are things that, like, brother, like you just know yourself, like, you know what I mean? Like if you're eating, I don't reach over your food, and that's not written anywhere, but that's just like common sense, you know what I mean? And that's mostly what it is common sense. But common sense isn't too common, you know what I mean? So you run into those dudes, and you know, and it's a whole different world, brother. You know what I mean? And in prison, and not to brag about it or both, you know, or to talk too much about it, but it's a place where, like, if you let certain things slide, they think a certain way about you. So it's like where you gotta kind of be on your toes at all times. You know what I mean? Right. And people do little dumb shit like that to see where you're standing, and you think it's a mistake, and it's really done on purpose. So you gotta kind of be alert. You know what I mean? Did
you happen to learn, or what? Actually, let me rephrase it like this: what would be some or 3 lessons that you learned in prison that you took with you outside?
I'll give you 3 lessons in one, bro. It's called the 3 L's. You look, you listen, and you learn, brother. You know what I mean? And none of that. If you hear it, look, listen, and learn. No, that means don't speak, brother. Just you know, just be aware of your surroundings at all times, and that's there or here or anywhere. You know what I mean? And again, look, listen, and learn, brother. Those are 3 lessons all in one. You know what I mean?
And that applies for every facet in life. If you think about it.
Exactly, man. You can learn a lot from everybody around you. You know what I mean? From you can learn a lot from a dummy, like the old commercial used to say. And you can learn a lot from people with wisdom and knowledge around you. You know, and just soak it in. Don't think you know too much, because you don't know too much. You know what I mean? And everybody has a different story, brother.
Uly, what is your current diet consisting of in preparation for the fight?
That's a great question too, man. We're actually me and my brother here, Mike, were talking about that earlier. Up until yesterday, I was eating whatever I wanted.
Hey, you know what I mean? Skittles on deck.
But I try to keep my weight low, and I'm very conscious of that. Because I don't want to balloon up, because then it makes it harder to get to the right weight. But so what I mean by eating whatever I want is, like, you know, I usually don't eat like fries or like certain things. So yesterday I ate a couple of things. Today I kind of started, not strict, but kind of like cutting off a couple of things. I'm not eating the pancakes anymore.
Más livianito, you know?
Exactly, más livianito, you know, and just keeping it a little cleaner. Not to say I won't throw a cookie here and there. I love cookie. I'm a cookie monster, by the way, too. Anyway,
bro, you're talking, bro. Yeah. He's like, let me get to the mic.
Yeah. Any sponsors out there, Night Owl or anybody want to, you know? But
Publix is where it's at, though.
Bro, he loves those fucking Publix cookies. No,
I'm an oatmeal cookie type of dude, bro. Night Owl, you need to make an oatmeal cookie, bro.
Yeah, for real.
But
the monster cookie.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so now, you know, I just, you know, I won't mess up all day. If I do mess up, I'll mess up on one meal, you know. But now I'm starting to tighten up, because I know the holidays are coming, so you're gonna eat some lechon, some congri, you already know, la yuquita, you know. So I try to keep it kosher. Now I messed it up for that one meal or whatever, and then I gotta start tightening up. Well, yeah, January is 4 weeks away from fight time, you know, and bro, this is my livelihood, bro. I gotta take this serious, you know what I mean? Yeah. And And this is a moment in life, brother, that you know, that it's a moment in life that you live that's gonna put me down in the history books. You know what I mean? Not only that, my children are watching, they're proud of me, bro, and a little sacrifice will get you a long way. You know what I mean? So I sacrifice this thing now, but as soon as my career's over, brother, who knows, bro? I'll eat whatever I want. Might open up a restaurant, dog.
Right
You know what I
there,
mean?
right? That's what I'm talking about. You briefly mentioned your girlfriend, gave a shout out.
Yes, sir.
What is, I guess, like refreshing in the sense of having a partner that's also in the fighting industry, whereas I know a lot of fighters that have a girlfriend that's not in the industry whatsoever, and they get worried, because I mean I get it. Your significant other is going to go and put themselves in danger. Do you not have to deal with that because you have someone that already knows what it's like firsthand?
Bro, I am where I am today in my career, where at this moment, because of her help. She is she's a superstar in WWE. She's WWE. If nobody even had to explain what that is. You understand what I'm saying? So she's taught me how to conduct myself. You know what I mean? And not that I was acting a fool out there, but how to kind of hone it in and be more professional with a lot of things. And it's amazing to have her by my side. She understands the whole thing. She was actually part of the IFBB circuit. She was a figure. She won Miss what was it? I forgot the thing, but for Miss Olympia, she won an award. Okay. She's big into this. So dieting is like her thing. So that's like another blessing. Like, bro, she's my dietitian. She's my nutritionist. She's my motivator.
There's no Bancuano in the crib, yo.
No Bancuano in the crib. And she's from Ohio. She don't even know Bancuano is. So, yeah, man, she's been a blessing in my life, brother. Really, honestly, and not to sound corny or nothing like that. It's the truth, dog. She's really helped me get to where I'm at today. For real.
That is absolutely. I feel like it's essential to have someone that supports you like that in order to have a successful career. And not only that, but to be able to like relax when you get home, to to not have to explain your career is
more than anything. Sorry to interrupt you, my bad. But more than anything is to understand that while I'm dieting, but you turn into an asshole, brother. You're kind of starving, and and then you got there's a million things that get involved in it. So she understands that because she went through that. She would become an asshole at certain points when she was dieting, so she knows. So I might have my little. Everybody has their days, bro, and I might She's like, all right, cool. Let's get over it. You know what I mean? All right. Hey, you over it? All right, cool. Hey, breathe. You know what I mean? And then, all right, cool. Let's hug it out, bro. I understand. So it's good to have somebody that understands that and doesn't take it to heart. You know what I mean?
Right.
She knows what it is.
Right.
I think that's what amazes me most about the fighters, the way you guys eat. And I love having the ability to eat whatever I want.
Listen, we all do, but it goes back to like a little sacrifice, dog, and. We talked about earlier, bro. You look like a young cat, dog. You could get in great shape if you cut out certain. You don't gotta be a bodybuilder. You don't gotta eat your meals every 3 hours. You gotta eat. No. You can eat the same thing, just a little bit less,
Right.
I weighed once upon a time. I weighed 247 pounds.
Damn, so you came down, bro. You like 160 right now, or something.
Oh, I wish, bro.
Yeah.
I'm 198.
Coño, you're my sparring partner, dog. Get ready.
Hey.
I lied.
Yo. That's that pay-per-view will sell out, bro. I'll tell you that. Diego.
Yo, between you and I, he asked me. He's like, "Yo, I'm gonna get him mad at you so he can knock you out."
I don't get mad like that no more, bro. I'm over that.
Diego. Uly, what is long-term goals? Just how we asked 20 years beforehand, 20 years down the line. What's
20 years is a long time. I know for the next working on to the next 3 to 5 years. I definitely want to try commentating on fights. My fight career goals. I want to win the belt for bare knuckle.
Hell yeah.
I want to fight.
Inevitable.
Win the 170, 175 pound belt, whatever it is, their weight, because their weight varies. I want to win that belt for sure. That's another step, another chapter of getting in the record books with them. I'm in talks of fighting for a world title for boxing. That'll be amazing too. Aside from that, man, I want to do some acting, dog. I want to get some movies, some shows. I want to do some commentating.
Hey, bro, hit me up. We'll do some acting classes real quick.
I might be a co-host right here at Midnight in Miami, dog. You know what I mean?
I've seen you in a couple of videos for the hometown.
Yeah. I've been in a bunch of music videos, man. I was in the baby music video too. Like
Uly could be the next villain in Avengers, bro.
Yeah. I was in this movie called Den of Thieves with 50 Cent, Gerard Butler.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
go.
I've had these amazing opportunities, bro, and they've honestly, I've never. And again, not like I've never gone out to look for these opportunities. I just happen to be at the right place at the right time, and it's not what you know, it's who you know. And they've I'm not gonna say it's fallen on my lap, but it's like a blessing. I just happen to be there, and I got put in these positions, man. It's amazing.
What got you through those dark nights? The nights that you thought, man, I just got into a fucking fist fight, and you just got into a fucking fist fight, not knowing X amount of years down the line, your name would be up in lights because of fist fighting.
Brother, you know what, man? We've all had those dark moments. To me, again, not to sound cliche or corny, but one day at a time, brother. One day at a time. And that's really kind of like a new thing for me in the last couple of years where I've been telling myself once I turn to this life, I just got this notoriety I have now. That punch put me on the map. I was always wondering what moment in life was it going to be mine, and you never know which one it is. It comes, It just comes. It pops in, and it's with that moment putting me down, and me, and also like me being able to help my community, and spread this now. As my notoriety grows, I'm able to do these homeless feeds in different cities across the nation, and brother, just honestly pay it forward, bro. Do right, you know what I mean? Which is something amazing that I'm able to do. I got people around me that are down with the movement, you know what I mean? And it's great to be where I'm at today and be able to spread the you know what I mean? Not just for fighting, but for being able to do good unto others, brother.
That's beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, every single week we have another segment. You know what I'm talking about? Another segment, and that's the
Daily Double.
That's the quest for the truth.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? And I pick a random card.
Nice.
Keyword random.
Keyword random.
Keyword random.
Kind of random.
Look at him.
I pick a random card from this deck.
Put him on the spot.
You know what I'm talking about? He always puts me on the spot.
Put him on
And
shuffle
we asked the guest this beautiful question. If I ask the first one, he's going to be here for 3. Which famous person have you met? Like, we're not going to do that.
Random.
All right. When you die, what do you want to be remembered for?
When I hope, God willing, it's a long time from now, but I just want people to say, man, not that he was a good fighter, not that the 3-second knockout, none of that, man. He was a great friend, Anytime you needed him, he was there. Anything he could do to help, he was there. He was a great father, you know what I mean? Great friend. Period. That's what I want people to remember me by, And fighting, it got me to where I'm at today. It gave me the platform to be able to do things like this with you today. But me being the person I am is what's carried me to be 39 years old and still have friends that I have over 20-something years, you know what I mean? And great people around me. And be able to make these moves that I'm making, you know what I mean? It's not because I'm a good fighter. That helps, but what's gotten me here is me being a good person. And that's what I want people to remember me by.
That's beautiful.
That's deep.
That's deep. Sometimes you gotta get deep in Midnight in Miami,
You
bro.
know what I mean?
It's not only Power 96 and cocaine lines over here, all right?
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Diego, what about you?
I could honestly relate to that. I've always felt like there's very few loyal people in this world.
Right.
And I feel like with the people that have done right by me, I will always try to do right by you. And even if you haven't, if I could kind of help, why not pay it forward? You get me? Like there's no reason to hold. I don't know how to
resentment.
Yeah.
Yes,
no resentment, no grudges.
No grudges.
Yeah.
Life is too short for that. You put in positive vibes. Positive things will happen to you. It's all about energy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I can attest to that, Diego. That's a fact. Diego is that down to the T. Uly, how would you describe Miami for someone who's never been here?
Miami's a melting pot, man. It's a great city. It's a beautiful city, beautiful people, beautiful weather. We're the only people out here with no sweaters on at this time, at this time of year. You know what I mean? I'm kind of biased towards it because I'm born and raised right here, but this is my place, my city. I've been around the world. I've been literally around the world. I've been all over the place, and I love traveling. I love people everywhere I go. But there's nothing like here. It's hard to explain. You just have to come here and see it for yourself. If you're from here, you know what it is. If you've been here, you know what it is. If you haven't been here, you already heard what it is and you can't wait to get here. You know what I mean?
All the memes about your girlfriend coming to Miami and never coming back.
No, I saw one today that was awesome, bro. This is old school Miami, though, just so everybody knows. But it was Santa Claus and his deer, and it said, come to Miami, you said. It'll be fun, you said, and it was the deer sitting on bricks. It was hilarious. But that's old school Miami, man. Miami's all cleaned up. It's a great city, man. It's tropical. It's amazing. The weather, the people, and everybody's friendly. And Miami's the only place you could get away with, I think, I'm going to say in the nation, where you don't have to talk English. You get here talking Spanish.
Fact, you know?
You need to talk more Spanish than you do English here, basically.
Straight up.
I've had people get mad at me because I speak to them in English first.
Yeah. Hey, Baba, where you at, Baba? Tying up.
Tying up, and that's a damn fact. What is, I briefly read the role that Pitbull had on you as far as being a friend and helping you out in a hard time. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Pitt is my brother, man. My brother. Gets no closer than that. He's me and him been friends when we were 11 years old. We've lived together. I've seen the meteoric rise that he's at today. We speak on a daily basis. He's been a huge motivational supporter and inspiration to me. You know what I mean? I use him as inspiration. He's great. He's helped me to where I'm at to get today by inspiring me. He says it himself. You know, I got myself to where I'm at today. That's what good friends would do. You know what I mean? Like whenever I needed help from him, of course he helped me. But you know what I mean? What would it be if I didn't get myself to where I'm at and somebody he got there because Pitt got him there. You know what I mean? No. That's what he never wanted from me. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm at to where I'm at today, and I got to do that podcast with him, and now he sees me put in the hard work. You know what I mean? Like he's put in the hard work, and that's what everybody respects. You know what I mean? And that's everybody that's made it to where he's at today. They want to see you put in the work. And it's like I told you before we started the podcast. You know, I would ask people when I first started my career, hey, help me with this, help me with that. And they're like, yeah. And not that we're trying to put me off. They want to see me put the work behind it. And now that I've put the work behind it, it's been years. They're like, yo, what's up? You still need that help? I'm in. And awesome, bro. Doors are opening. You know what I mean?
Did you ever feel judged because you weren't putting in work, or did you feel judged because of your prior, antecedents or anything like that? Did you feel like they doubted that you could actually put in the work whatsoever, or?
I never felt judged. No, that people doubted. Of course, hey, listen, we're all human. You gotta see it. We all gotta see it. You know what I mean? Like. You could have your best friend and he's telling you, hey, look, I'm gonna do this, but if his track record says, yeah, he starts off fast, but midway through he starts falling off, you gotta sit back and be like, brother, I love you and I got your back, but I need to see you get somewhere before I can help you out. Okay, I'm gonna help you out, and then you're just gonna go back to the same bullshit you were doing before. So that's understood. You know what I mean? And I'm the type of guy like. There's two types of people. There's people that say, oh, man, fuck that dude. Or there's people that understand and be like, hey, you're absolutely right, dog. I need to put on this work. You know what I mean? So, and again, it goes to that little, it's like a mathematical phrase I have. Consistency over time equals success. Now, I'm not successful, but I'm consistent. I'm putting in the time, and I'm working myself to be successful.
Diego.
I saw a clip of the podcast and something that like kind of resonated with me was the fact is like you said, putting in the work, and is that basically what I understood from it is being prepared for when you do get that opportunity to shine. You're like, all right, I'm here. What?
Of course. You know,
it gives you some sort of, it gives you this natural swagger.
Yeah, you always got to be prepared, brother. You know what I mean? You always got to I've told a lot of people, nobody saw it, even though I called it a week before, but nobody saw this 3-second knockout coming, you know what I mean? Once it did, I had a lot of people around me at the time that weren't ready, you know what I mean? And brother, I'm a 39-year-old guy. And even if I wasn't 39, the fighting world, you have a window this big and every day is closing, you know what I mean? So that's why I made the jump to first round management. These guys, this is what they do, you know what I mean? And
they put in work.
They put in work, and they're like he said, they're prepared. They're prepared for all this. They got and it comes down to, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So they got all the wheels turning, and preparation. There's nothing like preparation, brother.
What's been your experience with first round so far?
Those guys are great, man. I know Malky for a long time. I know Malky from before. You know what I mean? Great people, and they're about their business, bro. They're not here to play no games, bro. And Malky's a motivator, brother. When you sit in the office with him and you talk to him for 5 minutes, you want to run through a wall, bro. I'm ready. He's an amazing guy. In the short time that I've been with first round management, he's already up my career. You know what I mean? From sponsorships to all types of different things. You know what I mean? To opportunities with bare knuckle. You know. So
I don't know if you're ever on Pitbull's La Esquina.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Maybe that's where I know you from, because I did that back in the day.
Did you?
I did. I had a little I talked to Pitt about soccer, and we were talking about David Beckham, so maybe that's when.
Yeah.
What role, if any, has the, it's kind of hard to ignore, worldwide pandemic played in your fight prep and in your personal life?
Dog, let me tell you something, bro. This is real talk, bro, and I'm not gonna say no, that's a bad choice of words. I don't want to brag about it, but 2020 has been amazing for me. Amazing. And it's not only to do with this knockout, ending the year on this high note. So when the pandemic hit, I started training in my backyard. I'm blessed enough that my coach is my backdoor neighbor. And this is unplanned. This is it just happened to be that way. I moved into this house a couple of years ago. He lives on the other side of the block. So he came every day. He'd come over my crib. We kept training. Shout out to my boy Apache. Apache came through and he builds rings. He wasn't, obviously nobody was taking rings, so he built a ring in my backyard. I have a boxing ring in my backyard. Shout out to Amazon, man. He's a sponsor. We bought a bunch of stuff from Amazon, and I never stopped training, brother. I never stopped training. That's why I say there's a lot of hard work put behind these 3 seconds. I've been nonstop running and training. And consistent, bro. You know what I mean? And I put in the time, and we had that successful punch, brother, and many more to come. You know,
many more to come.
But yeah, 2020 and this whole pandemic thing has been. Again, I don't like to brag about it because it's been tough for a lot of people, but for me, it's been a blessing.
But besides, it hasn't really affected your training because you were lucky enough to have him just come to your backyard.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about your corner. What role does your corner or your team have in not only getting you physically prepared, but mentally prepared?
Yeah, like I told you before, my coach, 26 world champions, that guy, when he talks to me, he's like another, like I just said about Malky, I want to run through a wall. You know what I mean? He makes me an animal. And I always like to revert back to this post I did on Instagram, because it starts off with, you hear what my coach is talking, and you hear him talking to me, and this is nothing scripted. This is actually audio that they had of him talking to me, and they put it on this thing, and it's just, bro, listen, you could be eating some chips, you'll put down the chips and want to go run a couple miles, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just motivational. He's my guy, man. He knows what to tell me, and he's like a father figure to me, He's 64 years old. He looks like he's in his 30s. The guy's in tip-top shape, you know what I mean? And but besides that, just he knows how to talk to people. He knows how to get me in the zone, And it's amazing. Not only am I, but fighting is like 90% mental, you know what I mean? And
right.
Yeah, he gets me there.
And talk to us about your kids. How are they reacting when you're fighting? Are they watching from home? Are they watching from the actual where you're actually fighting, or at the location? How's that play out?
No, I have my kids always at the fights. My kids are always a part of the fights. My little ones are always part of my press conference, my weigh-ins. They're there sitting on my lap or standing next to me. They're huge with it. They always want to know who the opponent is, and they know everybody that fights. They know everybody that's the main event. I'm blessed enough to know all these huge people in the fight game, and they know my kids. Every time I see my kids, it's a big hug, a big five. What's up? How they doing? And It's awesome, man. It's awesome to see that because I look back of like, for example, like Hector Macho Camacho, rest in peace, and he had kids and he'd bring them to his press conferences and, you grow up in this scene, and you grow up wanting to be a part of this. And you, like I said, you might not be a fighter, but you got something maybe you eventually have something to do with sport, a promotion, a manager, who knows, but they're highly involved in everything I do.
Besides the acting realm, have you ever had any sort of like any other artistic feats besides acting?
Man, you know what? I'm big on writing. I love reading, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to write a book about my life. I've been writing for years, like, certain details. You never know, man. Y'all stay tuned. Might be something going on about my life. Not soon, not pretty soon. Y'all don't know, but I want to put something together. Just to highlight things and show people that we all go through something and then it gets greater later. That's number one. And it's never too late. You know what I mean?
Bro, you gotta watch how that New York Times bestseller lives, bro. You never know. You never know.
I'm telling you.
Do you have any like any things that you've written from like back in the day, like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or anything like that? Or
I wish I had something from that long ago. No, but I've something. You know what? It's probably been about 6 or 7 years. I've been writing on this one thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I have it there. I add to it every once in a while. Sometimes I go months without writing in it, and then then I'll go and write back up all these months. And it actually, I remember this writing about my life started one day. Believe it or not, I was hanging out with Pitt at Pitt's crib. Where it was, like I said, about 7 years ago. We're having a couple of drinks, just kicking it with my brother. And we're there with another brother of mine, white boy, which a lot of people know from Miami. He's an icon out here too. And we're talking, and we're telling stories. And Pitt turns to me, he's like, "Bro, you gotta write about your life, dog." And he was like, that light bulb went off, and that moment, bro. I went home and I got on my little notes on my iPhone and just started going off, bro. And every time I think about something, I just write about it,
Wow. If you could visit, and I know, Miami is clearly, numero uno. But if there was another spot that you could, I guess,
I already know. 100%. I've been dying to go to Australia, bro.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, man. That's like a bucket. I'm not gonna say bucket list thing. I don't like that word, but yeah, that's been like a dream of mine since I was a kid. Australia's always like it's crazy to me. It's amazing, and they
Kangaroos.
have like everything that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. They have there.
Right.
I'm huge on Australia and the pyramids. Always fan of, like it's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure.
I'm down for the pyramids, but you can keep Australia. Though.
Yeah.
Yo, you put a spider in front of me, I'll scream
Oh,
like
they have mad spiders. They got mad spiders.
They got
scream
spiders.
Scream like a little. You'll see me run faster than you've ever seen.
Bro, Australia's wild, bro. They only, from what I've read, this was a while ago, but only, so 98% of the whole, it's a continent, it's like it's a huge island, and 98% of it is uninhabited. Only 2% of it has people on it. You know what I mean?
I didn't know that.
And then they have all these animals that exist nowhere else in the world, and a lot of them can't even survive if you take them out of Australia. It's dope. And then the pyramids is, you already know. In 2020, with all the technology we have, with all the tools and everything we have, we can't replicate it. We have no idea how I got there, and they're perfect. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
What did you think of the whole? Did you see these the monoliths or whatever?
Yeah, that's wild too. I've seen it. Listen, I watch all those ancient aliens, all that.
You're big into aliens and all that shit?
It's funny. I had this conversation earlier today too. Not that I'm big into it, but bro, it's crazy to think that there's nothing else out there, brother. That's it. It sounds kind of cliche but it's true. It's crazy to think that, and Bob Lazar with his stories, bro.
Bro, Bob Lazar is deep in that shit.
No, and he's never varied. His story's always been the same, bro, for almost 40 years,
I love how we're nerding out over aliens, right?
Yeah, for real.
No, but that's a fact. And I mean, what got me is when he would describe a certain machine, and everybody's like, nah, whatever. And then someone found a picture of the machine down to the T, So
bro, how about that the Air Force pilot, the Tic Tac, bro? That's wild.
It's an unidentified flying object.
Yeah. And it's just, the story is wild. And you're watching this thing on CNN. Man, listen, bro, it's crazy.
Bro,
I don't want to get too deep into that. We get crazy. It sounds like conspiracy theories.
The volcano,
So they're going to kick this door in right quick.
Uly, before we start wrapping up, I wanted to ask, what role, if any, or do you not give a fuck, does your age play? You know, when you talk about fighters, you know, when you're predicting fights or whatever the case, the age will typically be a big influence. But you've definitely not shown that whatsoever. What's your take on that?
Dog, I feel better than I've ever had in my life, and that's not
For
even,
real?
Yeah, I swear. Health wise, everything wise, I feel better, and I'm doing better than I've ever had in my life. Now, go ahead and fuck up and think I'm 39 and go, and you know what I mean? You live to all my opponents on there. Go ahead and think something about that. That's cool. You know what I mean? But no, man, I feel amazing, brother. I really do. Healthy. And listen, I don't know, I can't put a number on it, but I feel a lot younger than what I am. You know what I mean?
Are you doing a lot of recovery work, cupping, that sort of thing?
Yes. I know. A shout out to my boy JP Hernandez. He does trigger point on me. My boy Dr. 305 is my chiropractor. And yeah, that's another thing. I stay on top of my body. You know what I mean? I stay on top of my health, my body. It's my livelihood. I stay on top of it. I don't party, dog. I don't drink. You might catch me with a cup of red wine. You know what I mean? Right. I don't drink no alcohol.
For the antioxidants.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to preach. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be here holier than thou or nothing like that. But I just stopped everything because I'm taking my career as serious as possible, brother. You know what I mean? And this is, like I said, it's a small window of time. Do the most you can with it, like, so you don't look back and be like, damn, man, nigga, if I would have. Excuse me, but you know, damn, dog. If I would have stopped this, dog, you know, or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't want to look back and have any regrets, dog. I want to do the most I can, the best I can, and then go enjoy life, brother. You know what I mean? And then I'm enjoying it on the way. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, enjoy the journey.
Exactly.
Enjoy the
Absolutely. Enjoy the journey, bro. That's great.
What is, and before we wrap up, you told us that you like to prep for the fights by watching tape or studying your opponents.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, there's some people that won't do that. Maybe they'll you know, watch it for a second or two, or you know, kind of get that. But they don't want to, I guess, get too locked into that. You're the complete opposite. Tell me about that.
Yeah, no, that's important to me. You know what I mean? And I shoot it to my coach. You know, excuse me. I shoot it to my coach. He looks him over. My coach been doing this 40 years, so he gives it the once over in 5 minutes. He's like, all right, cool. I already know this guy. Me, I study it a little longer. I look for little tells and little mistakes that I feel they're making. And I look through different fights, not just one, different fights, and see if they do the same thing through different fights. And as the fight gets closer, I stay away from that. I do that kind of like at the beginning. Once I find out who my opponent is, I study that real quick, boom. And then, you know, maybe as the fight gets closer, maybe like when I'm a week out, I'll review it real quick, you know, like quick. I'll go through everything quick and make sure, boom, 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 boom. If he has anything new, if he has anything, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. And that's what this game is, bro. You know what I mean? That's what this game is, dog. It's catch me before I catch you, bro.
Yeah,
you know
it's a game of inches,
Yeah.
man. It's a game of inches. This is crazy, man. When
Absolutely.
you get in there, how it really is a game of inches.
Absolutely, brother.
I think it's underestimated just how much of a mental power you need to have, because it's borderline multitasking to be able to read when's the opening for me to attack, but also so I don't get knocked out.
Right. And no, you know what? It's that's absolutely right. That's when it comes down to a fight, you're absolutely right. And I tell people that train, you know, I don't train people, but my coach does, and I tell them a lot of people you lose a lot of weight easily when you're boxing and stuff. Because boxing, it's a lot. It's mental and it's physical. You're just telling you one, two, and you got to remember what punch is which. You know what I mean? And it's like a chess game, like, hey, Brian, and it suffocates you, and you're like, dog, it's only been 2 minutes. So, you know what I mean? And you know, you've done some MMA before, you've done some fighting before, so you know. And I tell people, hey, you go out there and run 5 miles, brother. I'll put you in the ring for one round of sparring. And you're like, because it's mental. It's a mental thing, and. But yeah, I prep for my fights. I watch my opponents, and I stay ready, brother. I take every advantage that I can. You know.
Do you have a rule against or for as far as taking short notice fights? Are you not really big on that, or because you stay ready, but also you have to know who your opponent is.
It depends on the situation. You know what I mean? If it's something that's gonna be like, you know, if it's just some fight, whatever, yeah. But if it's something that's gonna help out the career, and it's worth it, and we feel like we're ready, yeah, then we're jumping at the opportunity for sure.
Hell yeah. And what is the game plan for the upcoming fight that you have coming up right now?
One thing for sure, the game plan is to win.
That's beautiful right there. What more do you want? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
A win. That's all the man, is aspiring for. That's all the man needs. And we'll be damned if he's not going to go for a damn knockout on the way, you know?
That's what I'm known for.
Hey, a little bit. What's good, Diego? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this week we had a episode of Colossal Proportions. You know what I'm talking about? We had Uly the Monster in the studio. Uly, where can people catch you? Where can they follow your journey to the top of the fighting game in general?
Man, my only social media that I use is Instagram. It's Uly ULY_monster. You can find me on YouTube.
You see it on screen.
But I most likely use I mostly use Instagram. And you could go to the link on my bio, Monster Brand Global, get the gear, you know what I mean? Help it out, support, love, and just keep your eyes open and don't blink.
Don't blink, ladies and gentlemen. Don't blink, because you will miss it. Ladies and gentlemen, what a phenomenal episode we have had. I want to personally thank Uly the Monster for coming through for this beautiful episode. Diego, always a mastermind behind the cameras. Uly, what's one last thing you can, some motivation that you can leave the fans off before we wrap up?
Yeah, first off, before we wrap up, thank you so much for this opportunity, man. Both of you guys, thank you. Been great, awesome conversation. Shout out to Dynamic Wellness, Primal Nutrition for keeping me on point, Dr. 305, First Round Management, and Super Insurance Group, man. Get your insurance because you don't think you need it until you're that guy knocked out, you know what I mean? But motivation, man, is just, listen, man, it's every day is not a happy day, brother, you know what I mean? You got to remember that. Take it one day at a time, keep moving forward, and stay consistent, and over time, you will be successful. I'm here with you.
He's here with you. Ladies and gentlemen.
It gets greater later.
Oh my God, I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Uly the Monster! Thank you again, my brother. You can check us out. What do you do every Thursday at midnight? You go on YouTube, you hit that follow. You go on Spotify, you go on Apple Podcasts, you go on Deezer, you go on iHeartRadio. I always forget that. iHeartRadio, bro. They got that concert every year. And you hit that follow. Every Thursday at midnight, we're going to have a new guest, a new story, a new champion.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure to hit that follow button, and we will see you every Thursday at midnight. Holla! And it don't matter what the world thinks. You can say how you feel on midnight in Miami. When you can push it to the limit, it gets real.